Guys, so we just got some new tunings for next reset, I believe. So we're going to be live soon. Yeah. Schedule weekly maintenance to go live. Let's quickly go through them. And I'll give my thoughts and stuff like that. So let's get it going. So we have changes that are live in PvE. And then we have PvP specific changes as well. But keep in mind, PvE changes also go live in PvP unless it's stated that it's not effective in PvP. For example, like this one. All healing increased by 5%. Does not affect PvP combat. Then it's, of course, not in PvP combat. If it doesn't say that, then it is also in PvP combat. Let's go. So, Blood Decay. Getting buffed, it seems, overall. I'm not too fussed about Blood Decay, though, so we're going to skip over that one. But it seems like some buffs there to Blood. Havoc De-Age. Also getting some buffs here. I'm not quite sure exactly how big these are, though. But they're actually getting buffed more in the PvP section as well. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm not sure like how much these really add up to for them. Vengeance De-Age also getting some buffs. But tanks, guys, I'm not really... I don't know what these things do even. I'm not a tank gamer. But here we go. Feral Druid, guys. Wildstalker. Chance for Bloodsucker Vines to grow on a single target is unchanged, but slightly increased when Rip and Rake are on multiple targets. So when you cleave, we're going to proc slightly more vines. And that sounds good to me. I can't complain about that one. And also Bursting Growth increased by 10%. Not a huge damage dealer, but I would say very slight damage buffs to Feral Druid here, which is, I'm not going to complain, you know. Because we're already kind of pumping hard, so. We'll take those. We will take those changes for sure. Very slight buffs, like barely noticeable, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. Okay, we got our Druid. All he increased by 5%. This is not a PP, though. But Scenario Ward Healing increased by 40% is active in PvP. And that seems kind of big to me. Then we have Aug Evoker. Blistering Scales grants allies 20% of armor over or down from 30. A little nerf there to that. Devastation. Flame Shaper consume flame damage increased by 25%. Engulf damage reduced by 20% PvP combat. Oh. Wait, Flame Shaper engulf damage reduced by 20% PvP combat. Is where they put this here and not in the PvP section, but okay. There it is. So Flame Shaper for Press increased by 20%. Flame Shaper consume flame healing reduced by 50%. Then we got some BM Hunter changes. So Basilisk color being nerfed. But they are buffing kill command by 18% and pet damage by 4%. So like some more flat damage. And I'll say like flat damage is probably better overall than however this thing works. I'm no BM main though, but this seems pretty good to me. I think BM maybe just shifting damage from one thing into more flat. That's kind of how I read that. Survival gets actually buffed on their tier sets. Wildfire Bombs go up a little bit, but keep in mind, tier sets are half in PP, so it's not going to be that crazy, but some buffs, some pretty big buffs actually to the tier set there for survival. Here talents, Frostfire Bolt damage increased, Frostfire Infusion damage increased also. So yeah, actually just Frostfire Mage getting buffed across the board here pretty much. Monk, Hero Talents, Master of Harmony, Stored Vitality costs an additional 40% healing and damage was 25%. A little buff there to that. Some of these things, I don't really know exactly what they do. But yeah. Brewmaster. I'm not even going to read through that because I don't know what Brewmaster does. Mr. River, Master of Harmony, Coalescence now costs Master of Harmony to increase damage and healing by taken by 30%. Master of Harmony now stores 30% of healing done. It was 20. This sounds good to me. Maybe some Fisterers in chat can like let me know if that's big. And then Quantum of Celestials now scales the damage with Mastery hit combo also. That should also be a buff for Windwalker Monk. Now we have Holy Paladin. Healing reduced, but not in PvP. But then Lightsmith Holy Paladin being buffed a lot, but I believe Holy Paladin does not play that in PvP. Maybe they will now, I'm not sure. Pro Paladin getting buffed too across the board. Maybe we're going to see some more Pro Paladins around. Then we have Templar Ret. Also, I think, overall catching some buffs. But as far as I understand, yeah, Ret does not play Templar, right? But maybe they will now, after these changes. Exactly how it's going to compare, I'm not quite sure. Then we have Shadow Priest getting buffed quite a bit, man. I think Shadow Priest is already pumping. If you've watched Frostby right now in the AWC, he's going hard, man. But yeah, Mind Blast damage increase, Shadow Death damage increase, Voidable damage increase, Shadowy Apparition damage increase, and then also Void Reaver also getting buffed, which Frostby actually played in the AWC now. I think SP is going to be crazy. Then we have some Asarogue changes. Caustic Spatter poison damage dealt to number of targets reduced by a slight amount. And then it seems like a buff to their tier sets. I think so. Yeah. We expect these changes to result in a net increase in overall damage. Yep. Weighed heavily towards single target damage. Then we have Outlaw Rogue, buffed by 4%. Flats, dispatch damage increased by 6%. Precise cuts, bonus of blade fury damage per missing target increased to 4%. Was 2%. Some Outlaw nerfs. I think that's fair. Not a very great spec right now. Arsham, Earth and Harmony now causes Earth Shield to reduce damage taken by 3%, was 5%. That's not a PP, but Acid Raid damage reduced by 20%. Not sure what that really does. Then we have Demo Warlock, Pact of Arid Ruin, Doomguard, still 20% increased damage. Grimoire, Felguard now increased damage of Summon Felguards by 60, was 45. Actually, some pretty nice buffs to Demo here. Then we have Warrior. We're actually getting buffed. I think Warrior's getting buffed on the hero talents. I think across the board pretty much. Actually, Slayer, though, getting nerfed to maybe this right here. Slayer opportunities now increase damage and critical strike damage for next overpower or original blow by 20. Okay, so Slayer getting nerfed a bit. But Mountain Thane and Colossus getting buffed. And then we have Fear Warrior, whose tier set is getting buffed. Again, tier set half MP, but so it's not like super big. But that is a thing. And then also some more buffs to Mountain Thane also. I'm not quite sure exactly like when these different specs play what hero talents, but overall this seems pretty solid for Warrior. These changes. Okay, so like we already covered the PvE / also PvP changes. Now for the PvP specific changes. Unholy DK actually receiving some pretty big nerfs, man, I would say. Especially if like add these on the recent ones as well they got. But I'm sure they'll still be pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, this seems semi-extensive, but I don't play DK. I don't know exactly how this breaks down on the damage. But they'll probably still pump hard. DK is very well represented, and they are very good. So there's that. DH now, Havoc. All damage increased by 4% in PvP combat. And also Aura, Immolation Aura, buffed by 13.6% in PvP combat. So some pretty big, I mean not big, some fairly decent buffs. Some decent buffs to DH here. And I would say they are needed. DH is struggling. Oh really? It's like basically to everything. Okay, shoot. Feral Druid down PP. Ferocious Wound, the PP talent getting nerfed a bit. This talent I was not really a big fan of anyways. Guys for threes. About to head off. Not a talent that I was really using much anyways, but that's not nerfed slightly. But overall, Feral got buffed. Yeah. And now we got our Druid, Tranquility increased by 30% PvP combat. Not sure how big that is, but there it is. Mana regen now reduced by 40% PvP combat. Was 50. Okay, so our Druid's mana should be a bit better now. Then we have Hunter, Survival of the Fittest. Now it's going to be 25% reduction over 30, or instead of 30. Slight nerf there. And then the Survival Tactics now going to last for 2 seconds over 3. That's the PvP talent where you feign death. And you get like a huge damage reduction. So that has gotten nerfed as well. A little bit. Dark Ranger, Smokescreen now applies Survival of the Fittest at 50% effectiveness in PvP combat. And Sentinel, Don't Look Back, effectiveness reduced by 50% in PvP combat. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but yeah. There it is. Mage, Frigid Winds is now 50% effective in PvP combat. A little nerf there to that. Arcane Mage, getting buffed more. I think Arcane is going a little bit under the radar already. So with these changes, maybe it's going to be quite nice. Fire Mage getting a bunch of buffs across the board. But Glass Cannon now is going to reduce your health even more, man. Decreasing health by 30% is insane. So I feel like you're never going to play Glass Cannon. That to me seems diabolical. But in general, Fire Mage looks like he could probably do a lot of damage here. Yeah, 30% is a lot. Like, you're just going to get blasted down, man. Then we have Shaman, Healing Stream Totem, healing increased for all Shaman specs. Elemental getting buffed a bit here. Lightning Bolt damage increased, Chain Lightning damage increased, and Tempest damage increased. I don't think this is huge because there's a lot of burst damage increase there, but probably some slight buffs there overall. Some Arsham buffs, Healing Wave and Healing Surge is quite nice for Arsham. I think Arsham is already great healers, so that should be pretty big for them. Then we have Warlock. The effectiveness of Demon Skin Armor bonus is no longer reduced by 50% PvP combat. That's going to make Warlocks a lot more tanky, you know? But that no longer being nerfed. Demonic Resilience. Now reduces damage taken by your primary pet by an additional 67% PvP combat. Okay. But they lose damage here, so making them more tanky, but they lose damage. And now Affli. Malevolent Visionary damage reduced by 30% PvP combat. Shadowbolt damage, Shadowbolt Volley damage reduced by 25%. Soul Harvester Wicked Reaping damage reduced by 20%. Soul Anathema reduced by 20%. Also Demonic Soul. Okay, so it's a pretty extensive nerfs to Affli damage. Affli's pumping, as we just saw in the AWC. Pretty huge. Then we have Demonology. Demon Bolt damage increased by 40%. Okay. Not sure if this is going to make us see any Demon Locks, but there's that. Then we have Warrior. D-Stance now reduced damage taken by 15%. Was 10. So, okay. I think that's fair. Making D-Stance a bit better. And then we have Arms Warrior. Extra damage increased by 15%. Mortal Strike increased by 55 now. Was 35. Master and Commander now reduces the cooldown of Rallying Cry by 120. Was 90 seconds. And increases its effect by additional 10%. Was 15. Okay, so more CDR, but a bit less effectiveness. Also, protection also increased on execute. So, overall, I think it's a good changes, man. Quite nice. Yeah. I approve. Hey, very slight feral buff. I can't complain also.